Hello students, this is Ruchi Jain from Shivaji Rao Kadam Institute of Technology and Management. Friends, our today's topic of discussion in the subject business law is quasi contracts. It is very interesting type of contract. Actually, when we talking about the quasi contracts, it is just as in contract which are not prepared by the planning. It is prepared according to the situation or the happening of the events. These contracts are prepared. For example, first we are talking about quasi contracts. We know that contract is an agreement enforceable by law, and there are some essentials for making which are fulfilled for making of a contract. But in some cases, there is no offer, no acceptance, even if the parties have no intention to create any kind of contract. But still, the law imposes some obligations on one party and confers rights in favor of the other, and the quasi contracts are prepared. Such relationship is known as quasi contracts because actually there is no contract or agreement between the parties, but they are put in some position as if there is a contract between them. For example, when we talking about quasi contract, under certain circumstances a person may receive a benefit on which other person has a better right, or for which the law considered he should pay that other person. In such cases, the quasi contracts are prepared, and such type of quasi contracts are prepared. Now, according to the definition of the quasi contract, a quasi contract is not a contract at all. It is an obligation created by law in the absence of any agreement. Friends, in simple words, when we talking about quasi contract, the parties have not any kind of planning regarding the making of the contract, even though they are not focusing on the essentials of a contract, but due to the law or due to some conditions of making of the contract, the law imposes persons for making of the contract, and contracts are created. That kind of contracts are called quasi contract. Now, there are some kinds of quasi contract. Actually, in section 68 to 72 of Indian Contract Act, there are some kinds of quasi contracts are mentioned. There are basically 5 kinds of quasi contract. First one is supply of necessary to person incapable of contracting. In section 68, this was defined. Then second is reimbursement of person paying money due by another in payment of which he is interested. In section 69, it was defined. Then liability of payment for non-gratuitous act, section 70 defines. Then responsibility of finder of goods, section 71 defines. And money, when money is paid or things are delivered by mistake or coercion, section 72 defines. These are the kinds under which quasi contracts are prepared. Now, first we will start with supply of necessary. According to section 60 to 68 of Indian Contract Act, supply of necessary under Indian quasi contracts are defined. The definition is, if a person incapable of entering into a contract or anyone who is legally bound to support it is supplied by another person with necessarily suited to his condition in life, the person who was furnished supplies is entitled to be reimbursed from the property of such incapable person. This is the supply of necessarily. For in simple words, when we talking about supply of necessarily, if a person is not able is not able to available all the essential elements which are important for the life, and if somebody is help him for that availability of the essential goods, then that is called supply of necessarily. For example, when we talking about, if A supplies B a lunatic means if this person is not healthy with the mind, and A which supplies B a lunatic with necessaries suitable to his condition in life, A entitled to be reimbursed from B's property. In that case, A is not capable of supply of necessary due to his incapability, then in this case A can claim some part of B's property for the material which he is available for him. That is called supply of necessaries under Indian quasi contract. Now the next is, according to 69, reimbursement of person paying money due by another in payment of which he is interested. In that case, person who is interested in the payment of money which another is bound by law to pay and who therefore pays it is entitled to be reimbursed by the other. In this case, what happens? Actually, a person who is interested in the payment of money which an other is bound to by law to pay, and therefore he is entitled to reimbursed by the other. In that case, what happens? There are, for example, when we talking about, if B holds land in Bengal and a lease granted by A, then in that case, if Jamidar says to B, to B that you should hand over that land to Jamidar, then in that case, if A saves B's land, then A has the right to claim for some part of B's land. For example, there are some essentials for the reimbursement. Like, first one is the payment made should be bona fide by one's interest. Then the second is the payment should be voluntarily. Then the payment should much be such that the other is bound by law, pay by law, and as this is according to law, it should be mentioned, and law says that if law says that you should pay him, then they will pay that. Then this is called another type of quasi contract. Now we are talking about next point, obligation to pay for non-gratuitous act. According to section 70, if a person lawfully does or deliver anything for the other not intending to do so gratuitously, and the person derived any benefit from it, he is liable to compensate or restore the thing so done or delivered. In that case, if a person has if a person is not paying any kind of lawfully does not anything to other or delivered anything to him, for example, it is delivered free of cost, then this is the obligation of the non-gratitude act, then that they should pay for that. For example, there are some conditions which satisfy that kind of contract. That, like, first one is that thing must have done lawfully, that it means according to law that work should be done. And the second is the persons intending to do it must be have done it gratuitously. It means it should be in gratuitous form. There is not any kind of we can say getting any kind of intention of getting some payment. Then the next is the person must have derived benefit from the act. So these all are the obligations for the Gratitude Act. Now the next is responsibility of a finder of a goods. According to section 71, a person who finds goods belonging to other and takes them into his custody is subject to some responsibility, as the bali is bound to take as much care of the goods as a man of ordinary prudence would. In addition to that, he must make efforts to trace the owner, and if he does not, he will be guilty of wrong conversation until the owner is found out of property will vest with the finder he can sell in case of. In simple words, we can say if a person gets something or finds something, then in that case this is the responsibility of the finder of the goods, that he should pay what he should give that person from which he will get something or he will find something. Then this is called repayment of the. For example, by the example we will discuss this. For example, A and B jointly own a rupees 100 to C. A alone pays the amount to C and B not. Knowing this fact, pays 100 over again to C. C is bound to repay the amount to B. This is called responsibility of the finder of the goods. In that case, goods are of perishable nature. Owner cannot be found out. When owner refuses to pay for the lawful charges, when the lawful charges amounts to 2/3 of things. This is called the responsibility of a finder of goods. Now the payment of mode by mistake or coercion. This is another kind of quasi contract. For example, in section 70 of 2 of the Act throws light on the liability of person to whom money has been paid or things delivered by mistake or coercion. It says a person to whom money has been paid or anything has been delivered by mistake or under coercion must repay or return it. So these all are the kinds of quasi contract, or these all are the kinds of quasi contracts. For example, X and Y jointly own rupees 2000 to Mr. M. X alone paid the whole amount to M, and Y, not knowing anything about this fact, also pays rupees 2000 over again to M. M is bound to repay the amount to Y. Here one important must be noted that the word coercion is used in this section is in its general sense, that is forcefully, not as defined in section 15 of the Act, as we are discussed in free consent. So friends, that's all about for today's lecture. Now in next lecture we will discuss our next topic, which is some kind of special contracts. Thank you very much.